Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Manchester City look like they're going to get rid of another player. Looks like Gabriel Jesus could be about to join Arsenal, according to the breaking news. Fabrizio Romano's done the hold here we go thing, so I'm pretty much certain it's done. He doesn't really miss these things when it's that close. Mr. Tapping they call him, but he knows his stuff. So it looks like we're going to lose a very big player, very important player. It's going to be interesting. Hello to everyone enjoying this stream. We are going to talk about what this could mean today. We'll also talk a little bit about some other players and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be fascinating to see how this goes down, because I'm quite torn on this. I love Gabriel Jesus. I think he's a fantastic player, a great lad, a good footballer, and one that I would genuinely be sad to see him go, because why wouldn't we? Please do hit the like button, please do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thank you to everyone who got me 60,000. It's really appreciated. And also I want to say, of course, please download OneFootball, scan that QR code right there next to my head, click the link in the description, get news on every team, every player, and every goal scored from across the world of football by downloading OneFootball right now, and you can get all the update information on Gabriel Jesus. If you're an Arsenal fan and you want to get all his stats, download OneFootball. If you're a City fan and want to find out about Kalvin Phillips and Cucarella and people, download OneFootball. And if you want to help support my channel a little bit, download OneFootball. It's a great app, I promise you. I've been using it for 5 years myself. It costs absolutely nothing. It's brilliant. What are you waiting for? Do it. Download OneFootball right now. So we'll jump over to the transfer target here, and we'll bring a player in at a time. I'll bring Jesus in now. I'll have to resize it a little bit, so ignore the lack of organisation here as I do this. Where's Jesus gone? Let me get him in over it. I'm in a right old mare here, so I'll bring Jesus in, and we'll talk about Gabriel Jesus. So that's a bit big there. So it looks like this one is going to be done, basically. It looks like he's on his way to Arsenal. This has come from Fabrizio Romano. And I'm sort of really kind of like torn about this. I understand it. I think it makes an awful lot of sense, but he's brilliant in terms of as a squad player, as an influence around the dressing room, as a guy who sets the example of how you work up front, as a guy you can rely on. He's absolutely brilliant. Is he the goal scorer that we want him to be after Sergio Aguero? Probably not, but is he still a very good player in his own right that will absolutely improve the levels at Arsenal? Yes. I really do believe that Arsenal are getting a good deal here. A deal that maybe suits them, these days. Like, maybe Jesus isn't the guy that we need right now anymore, because we've got, a change of approach which can be done. But I don't think Arsenal fans quite realise how good this guy is that they're getting. Griffin Malkins just said in the comments as well, seeing Arsenal fans question him already has me fuming. He's now their best player with more Premier League titles than their entire club. Well, Griffin chose violence, and Griffin, mate, you're not absolutely, you're not wrong at all, and that is pretty much the crux of it. So I'll jump over to the aggregators and so on and show you what's going down over here. So it's come from all like the aggregators. Apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, contract until 2027, personal terms agreed, 45 million agreed fee. I'll jump over to actual Fab's tweets. It's all done, basically. There we go. Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal. I've never had this picture for the profile picture for this video. Sorry, Rob. Here we go. Personal terms fully agreed with his agent, Marcello Pettinati, and his two partners. Gabriel signs until 2027. It's 100% done. Arsenal already agreed a fee of 45 million with City, as revealed on Friday. Edu on Arteta with a key. Edu, yeah, of course, ex-Brazilian international, ex-Arsenal player. Arteta, of course, a guy who knows him really well because he's coached him for years now. So, yeah, I think this is a good move for him. I actually think this is a good move for Jesus, and like I'll drag him right over here to the middle. It's like that. It's not been announced yet, but it's as close to being on me there as it probably can be without being actually done. So I'll put him right there. Like it's not officially, but it's essentially done. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Some people are very disappointed. How would you feel? How would you feel about this? Is this? I'll put a poll in the chat now. I put worst City right to let him go. Yep. Nope. So there's a poll in the chat now. I'd be very interested to see what you guys reckon in terms of the actual decision. Personally, look, I'm not trying to convince you. Ignore me. I think it's probably the right time for him to go, personally. Like, I get it. I understand it. I kind of wish he was staying around, but at the same time, I just appreciate that with Alvarez coming in, with Haaland coming in, it just feels like the right time for everyone to move on and go, all right, okay, will we regret it? I don't know if we regret it or not. I'm just kind of glad to see him up close, man. Well, like Alex is devastated. Fair enough. Mark reckons if we want to keep progressing, move forward, we can't stand still. This team needs to evolve. I actually agree. You do have to keep moving and changing how you play because you become predictable. I think it's fair to say that Jesus has stepped up in some big games for us, but it's probably across the course of the season when we wanted him to be the clinical striker, he hasn't always done that. And that can happen every now and then, you know. It makes sense. It's just sad. It's just sad, you know. I hope to be posting that gif of Gabriel Jesus doing his little dance thing forever. I want to be posting that when I'm old and grey. Well, older and more grey, I guess. When I'm an old man, I want to be basically posting that. People are saying there's a lag, but I'm not seeing any lag. I mean, for me, it says excellent connection. Sorry if you're struggling a little bit, but it must be your internet because I've had no problems whatsoever at my side. So, yeah, apologies if you're struggling there. But it all looks fine at my side. But yeah, Saint Saviour's there. You Bournemouth said this feels like one of those deals which is smart for everyone involved. Yeah, that's how it feels for me too, basically. I think what Arsenal are getting, I don't think they realise, because he's not been the guy who scores 30, 40 goals or whatever. I don't think Arsenal fans have realised just how good Jesus is and just how reliable he is and just how hard-working he is and just how much experience he'll bring to the first team. They've got young players, the likes of Saka, Martinelli, and so on going forward, but they need Smith Rowe, of course, as well. Even Odegaard's quite young. They need someone with Jesus' experience. So I'm going to look at Gabriel Jesus' stats now. And you realise just what a big player he's been for City over the years. He's 25 years old now, so even though he's obviously quite experienced, he's still very young, but he's got a lot of numbers behind him. 95 goals he's got in 236 games for Man City, so just under one every two, which isn't bad at all. That's decent. 13 goals in 41 last season, 14 in 42. Before that, 23 in 53 before that, and 21 in 47. So most he's ever scored in one season was 23 in 53. Most he's ever scored in one league campaign is 14 for us. Obviously, we've got to understand a lot of that's been behind Aguero. A lot of that's been off the bench as well. But I think we understand that basically he's brought an awful lot to this team. Some huge moments. What is your favourite Jesus moment? Of course, he is Mr. Centurions, man. How could you not appreciate the composure and the brilliance to score that goal to get us the Centurion season? This season he was excellent against Liverpool and Chelsea consistently. Of course, away at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. It's just, he's had these big moments for us in these big games. I guess it's just... Yeah, his debut was great as well. Absolutely. I mean, I hope he does really well at Arsenal. Not well against us, but in general, I hope he does well because I just like him. And I've got nothing bad, absolutely nothing bad to say about him. Alf says favourite moment, it has to be the run he went on after making his debut. Yeah, of course. He was great when he first came, you know. I feel like in general, his career never kicked on. I think he's quite... kicked on because of Sergio. I think in general he's quite an insecure person, and I do think you've got to the situation where he never really stepped out of his shadow, which I found kind of interesting and a bit of a shame. I'm going to put Edozie over there, by the way, because I'm going to talk about him in a bit. But he never really kind of got out the shadow of Sergio, and I always feel like it was just a step too far for him to become his own man because he had to wait and wait and wait. And he even said after he scored 4 goals, he said, "I'm no Sergio Aguero." And I was like, oh, come on, mate. After he scored that 4 recently, he said that, and I kind of felt sorry for him. I was like, stop putting yourself down. I get the impression he's the first to beat himself up if he misses chances, which actually probably came about because he knew he had to make every chance count because he needed to get in the team with Aguero and Sterling and Sane and everyone else and all these other quality players that we had. And I think as a result of that, he probably became a bit too humble. Probably too humble to become the clinical striker. I need him to be the superstar. I need him to be that. And I need him to be a killer in front of goal. And hopefully he'll become that over at Arsenal. It would be nice if he did, man. It would be nice if he did. 80% of people think City were right to let him go. And 21% said no. So it's not an absolute landslide, but it is, 4 and 5. But still a decent amount of people were disappointed by this. And I get it from his perspective. I actually think the fee's pretty good, by the way. 40-odd million for a guy with 1 year left in his contract. Look, it's only 10 million less than Haaland. Or look at it this way, he's paid for Kalvin Phillips. There's loads of ways, we can look at it. And got distracted. I thought I heard someone shouting. It was outside. Sorry, I was like, was someone shouting me? I thought the clue shouting me. But ultimately, it's a good bit of business. I have to post my gift bag again one more time on Twitter. I've not done it yet. It is just... it's just one of those things where it suits him, it suits everyone else. 45 million, not 40. Yes, I said 45. Yeah, it basically does pay for Phillips though, which is interesting. So it is what it is. I am sad about it, but I understand it. I respect it. And I think in general, I said this on a video the other day, but I'm going to repeat myself again because this is what YouTubers do. We repeat ourselves a lot, and then we repeat ourselves. I'm going to repeat myself again. Sorry, that's a terrible joke. But I think in general, the one area that we could have done with a refresh is up front. Like, I think our defence is solid as anything. Our midfield is probably the best midfield in the world. And we've got great forwards, but I don't think we've had any absolute superstar forwards in terms of like people would take off. Put it this way, we've had no one in the team here. We've had no one who's had a season like Salah or Kane for a while or anything like that. And I feel like we need someone who could do that. And I think Jesus isn't probably capable of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the likes of Alvarez and Haaland bring. And maybe Cole Palmer will get some game time. Maybe see how Grealish adapts in his second season with overlapping fullbacks if we get Cucarella. I don't know. I feel like we are due a refresh up front. I think our forward line's been very good, but it ain't been world class for a couple of years now, maybe. So this is why I'm very interested to see how this goes, because I think it makes an awful lot of sense. Like, Jesus goes in my blessing. Not that he needs it, but I think he should go with our blessing in general as City fans, because like ultimately he's done everything he needed to at Man City. He's done everything that we ever needed, but it'll be great. Is Edozie going? We're going to chat about Edozie in a minute. Absolutely, because that's came out of nowhere, but it looks likely, doesn't it? So, but what a man, Jesus, man. Like, yeah. It's Mr. Pickle said, hey, Steven, it's a good bit of business for us. Think he'll play Alvarez at right wing. Yeah, I think Alvarez will play across the front line. Alvarez is coming in basically to take Jesus' squad place, isn't he? Let's be honest. He's coming in to do that. Whereas Haaland's just basically finally filling in the gap that's been left over since Aguero has gone. So this is a revamp, but I think a revamp's essential to make sure City don't become predictable. So this is where we're at these days, basically. We have to do it. And also, that does now mean Haaland is going to be number 9. I'm going to have a new number 9, man. A new number 9. Erling Haaland is going to be Manchester City's number 9. It's fun times, isn't it? It's very fun times. And I can't wait to see it. I'm just going to tweet that now, by the way, and I can't wait. I'm very, very excited for it. Gary's been fantastic for us, but we need consistency. I agree. Did you see Haaland sporting the Phillips hairstyle? I didn't actually, Daniel. Do you want to link me to that? I've not seen it at all. I've been out this weekend, so I've not really been online too much. It's going to be out. It's going to be Haaland 9, in my opinion. Absolutely. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for this new season to start either. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to see how these new players adapt. You know. I do think it's Haaland 9, by the way. I'm pretty certain. I heard some rumours that the reason, I heard some rumours, and it wasn't from anyone in the know as such, but the idea that we haven't had a number yet was because it was going to be 9 or 15, and they're waiting for Joe Royal's. I just read Joe Royal because of Mark. Gabriel Jesus' decision. I think it makes an awful lot of sense. And I'm looking forward to it. So, what does everyone make of the news of Edozie? Edozie's an interesting one, isn't it? Edozie, according to all reports, I'm going to put him around here because it looks like it's likely to be done. Not fully done yet. But Edozie might be going to Bayer Leverkusen, which I am a little bit disappointed about, if I'm being honest. I didn't see that coming. Only a year left in his contract. Apparently, he's made it clear that he's not going to sign. So, on that instance, I get it. Nearly 10 million we'll get for Edozie. I think Edozie's a really good footballer. I don't know if he'll reach Manchester City's level, but I really like him. I think he's an old-fashioned winger. He can beat people, create chances. As Guardiola once said, he's one of the only people who can actually carry the ball up the pitch 40 yards that Man City have got. But he has got a year left. I'm sure there'll be some kind of fees and all that kind of stuff. Buybacks maybe, add-ons, sell-ons and all that kind of stuff to make sure City get more money if it happens. But so, Edozie, another one out there, but another 10 million for the kitty, of course, as well, which will be interesting to see how that goes down. I rated him an awful lot, and it seems like Guardiola did, but I think his injury last season cost him a little bit of time, and it'll be fascinating to see, essentially, how he gets on over at Bayer Leverkusen. He's a good player, probably not quite our level, but one that I was very excited by, that maybe in another era, he would have been a Manchester City player. Maybe if we weren't quite as good as we are, maybe if we were more like the City of old 15 years ago, he would have been playing for our first team regularly. But it's just what it is these days. The level is so high. And as some people have said, including Cameron and someone else said in the comments, Jake, we have Borges. Borges apparently only a year left as well. That's interesting. But Carlos Borges and Dai Mabude are really good players as well. So I can't wait to see how they develop and get chances, because they are lightning quick wingers with all the skill that you would want. We'll see. We'll see how that develops. But Borges one is a bit disappointing, but I sort of understand it at the same time. I mean, I don't think he's got a chance to gain game time this season, so I get it. And I would say he's here for a reason, because he's not quite done yet, but I would say he's kind of crawling into nearly being done. I would say around about here somewhere. It'd be interesting to see how he goes down. In terms of Cucarella, I'll get him over here. I would say he's about the same as well. I'm going to put him around about here. I saw Cucarella liking tweets at the weekend, which was fascinating. If you're not familiar with what that's about, let me just quickly reread the tweet that he liked. But it looks like Cucarella was basically announcing himself. He's been liking tweets. Where is it? Let me find it. About him joining Manchester City, which is very interesting. Your man wants to be a City player. Let me have a look. What did he like? Basically, Fabrizio Romano tweeted, next up, Cucarella, after tweeting about Kalvin Phillips. And he went and liked that tweet, Cucarella. He really wants to join Manchester City. He's absolutely flexing for it. He's now unliked the tweet. Okay, so it was a tactical thing, apparently. He knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot. He does want to come to Manchester City. I want to say thank you, by the way, to It's Mr. Pickles. Thank you so much, man. You've become an Academy member. Welcome to the club, mate. Thank you so much for the support. Absolutely appreciated. I'll get you on there for the next video. I've not updated it. I will do it. We had a lot of stuff on this weekend. Scans and all that kind of stuff and whatever with the baby and so on. So we've been very busy. But I'll get you on there tomorrow, mate. Thank you so much. You absolute legend. But, Cucarella... he also liked the City extra treat as well. Yeah, Cucarella, man. He's playing games, man. He's playing games. He knows what he's doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in a City shirt, because I think it's going to happen. And of course, as well, Kalvin Phillips. Let me get him over on here as well. Kalvin Phillips, where is he? He is very close. I mean, this to me, Kalvin Phillips is... this is like here. It's like that. He's just hanging around over Jesus' head. He's nearly done. Very nearly done. It's very busy this summer, isn't it? It's really busy, and I kind of enjoy it. Like how close all these players are. I would say he's closer than Cucarella. He's like that. He's really nearly done. So we've got Kalvin Phillips coming in very soon. It looks like Cucarella could be coming very soon as well. We've got Gabriel Jesus going. It's just fascinating to see, like, Man City making business. This transfer window could be fascinating. I do think Bernardo's going to stay. I do think Sterling might stay. I don't know. I don't know. But I think Bernardo's definitely going to stay. It's going to be fascinating. In terms of Phillips, I know a few Leeds fans, and they are devastated because they think he's absolutely got the quality to be a Manchester City player. They think he's going to go to the top, and I really respect and admire that. I'm really excited by this as well. They're getting a young lad called Darko Giarbi. If I've watched a few times, he's a good player. This little lad here, he looks like he's going to Leeds in a deal for $5 million, so I'll put him on the other side over here, really close. You don't know much about Darko Giarbi, 18-year-old player, attacking midfielder. I've watched him a few times. Technical, really skillful, gets forward well. Rocket of a shot from what I can remember. He's a good player. I don't think he's ever going to make it at Manchester City, but I can see why Leeds are getting him in. So that's an interesting bit of money as well. $5 million coming in for an 18-year-old that a lot of us wouldn't even heard of. And I wish him luck as well for what it's worth. So he's coming in, going out, and Kalvin Phillips is coming in, which is very interesting. That Leeds fan vid was funny, but I felt bad for him. I've not seen that, Cameron, actually. I've not seen that at all. So... back to Jesus. I'll go back to Jesus and chat for it a little bit. Look, my feeling about Jesus over here is that this is the right time for everyone. I actually don't think it weakens our squad in the way that we think it does. I think it gives our squad a chance to change how they are. And sometimes change can be a really good thing. Not just for yourself, just because for everyone. Like, change is important because winning does breed essentially complacency sometimes. And these are world-class players, but they are human. They can be prone to switching off and becoming complacent and taking things for granted and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying they would do, but it's very, very possible that that happens. So you do need a bit of change to mix things up every now and then. And I think Guardiola needs to change, man. He needs familiar faces to get him going again. Guardiola needs a challenge, and he needs new ideas and new people to coach and train and so on. Get the likes up, by the way. Go hit the like button. 128 likes, 700 people. Let's do this. The players will appreciate having new ideas and new systems. And you've got to bear in mind, Ruben Diaz has been training with Jesus since he joined, and Laporte's been training with Jesus for years. All of a sudden, Laporte and Diaz and people like Kyle Walker, they'll train against Alvarez and Haaland, and that will improve them as well because it's different, So the whole team can improve and react to new players, and teams won't know exactly how these players are going to play. It gives us more options. It gives us a squad shake-up. It can be really good for the squad, basically. And I think this is the right time for Manchester City to do this. It's a very turbulent summer, but I enjoy it because I think coming off the back of a successful season, now is the time to do this. I mean, if we do get Cucarella and Phillips on top of Alvarez and Haaland, I mean, that and Ortega coming in as well, potentially as a backup, this is just a fantastically good squad. It really is, man. Like, our squad will be as good as it's ever been, really, if I'm being honest. Like, we would have answered all our problems. I mean, I'd be looking around and be like, who else? Especially if Sterling stays as well, especially if Bernardo does as well. Like, you'll have essentially, yeah, I agree with Cameron. If Bernardo and Raz stays, it's a 10 out of 10 window. I actually agree. If you get those in, it's like, there's nothing more I could ask for. We've got a backup DM of high quality. We've got a left back of high quality, and we've got 2 strikers in of high quality, and managed to sell a couple of players that wanted to go. Yeah, it's Philip. Kevin De Bruyne is in the chat. It's not actually Kevin. Imagine if it was, and he was just like, no one ever takes me seriously. Kevin Phillips Kalvin isn't quite done. I put him on the set, pushing towards the middle ring. There are some rumours it's going to be done inside the next day or two, and I do think it probably is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's here by Tuesday or something like that. Phillips is very, very, very close. All the reports suggest that we've agreed a deal for around 42 million, is it? 45 million? It's exciting. It's exciting. I do think he's better than people realise, Kalvin Phillips. I think he's a very, very good footballer that ticks every single box that Manchester City need, man. Like, he's great. He's quality. Guys, let's try and get to 250 likes if you don't mind. 700 people watching, 145 likes, 45 subscribers after 60,000 as well. So subscribe and let's get the likes over 200. Go on, we can do it. We can do it. Let's see him fly up in the next few seconds. It'd be really appreciated. 42 plus 3 million. Yeah, I think that's about right. That's a good deal, man. He's got the quality to be an awful lot more expensive than that. He is a quality defensive midfielder. And I really, really think it's a very astute signing from Manchester City. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this switch up, man. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes next season. Oh, Jesus, I'm so torn on. I mean, I'll do a proper video, full-on proper video when it's confirmed and talk about what he brought to the club and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I am going to be gutted to see him go, but I'm very excited to see what happens next season. I am. You're like, I'm fascinated to see how it goes down and see how these players adapt at Manchester City and see what Guardiola does with them. It's going to be really, really, really interesting. 109 points. Are you insane? Who said that, man? We're not going to get that many. I mean, we're going to get a lot of points. I think we'll win the league again, but it's not going to be as high as that. Let's be honest. I'm very overexposed here. Apologies. I'll slightly switch the camera a little bit. Why is it now? That's a bit better. There we go. That's a bit better. It was a bit overexposed. Arsenal win the Europa with Gabby. Maybe they will, CJ. That's not a bad shout, actually. I think Arsenal, they've got a decent little squad now, man. Who else have Arsenal signed this summer? Have they signed anyone else? I've switched off to Arsenal, so I'm not really sure who they've signed or whatever. But let me know if they've signed anyone decent. Alvarez can and does play in the wing. Yeah, he often, these days he's more of a striker, Mark, but he can play there. So it'll be interesting to see how Alvarez gets on. But he's a very interesting signing. Fabio Vieira, of course, you have forgot about him. Fabio Vieira and linked with Rafinha heavily. I mean, that'd be a great signing as well for Rafinha. To be honest, man, Arsenal are building a good team. Fabio Vieira looks like a really good player. Jesus, I mean, they bought 2 good footballers there. They really are, and I don't mean this as an insult, trying to match the City profiles, aren't they, of players? Looking good, Arsenal. They're looking good. It's going to see how they get on next season. Rafinha would be a good signing for them, man. Is that likely? Kai asked, do I think Gabriel Jesus would celebrate against us? No chance, man. I don't think Jesus will against Man City. If anything, he's probably too respectful in his career, so I can't see it personally. I reckon if he scored against us, which he's definitely going to do, let's be honest, man. We all know he scored against Man City if he plays against us. I reckon he does the whole, really quiet thing. And because I really want him when he comes back, by the way, to get an absolute thunderous reception. Like a thunderous reception. I would love it if the Etihad was really on the feet for Jesus. I fucking love him. Like, you would not get a harder worker than Jesus, a more respectful player. I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it if he gets a good return. And I think he will do for what it's worth. I think people appreciate just how wonderful he is as a footballer and how hard he worked and how much he gave to us. He loves this club, man. He spent years here. And, look, you also got to remember how much people associate life moments with, where they work and so on. And he moved to Manchester, made loads of new friends, established himself for Brazil, won league titles, met his partner, had a kid while here at City. And look, Manchester City are part of his life, absolutely part of his life. And he absolutely will care about this club. It's almost certain. It's going to be fascinating. Fascinating to see how he gets on over there. Oh, I'm going to miss him. I'm looking at the GIF now, man. I'm looking at this GIF. I'll jump over to it again. And I'm just sad. I'm just sad. It's sad news. I love you, Gabby, man. If you're watching, Gabby, just honestly, you are appreciated. Oh, look at it. It's there. Oh, it's my favourite. Oh, I'm devastated. I mean, that's my guy. I'll be posting that when I'm very old and very great. Absolutely. I have to. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. But Paul Moss saying brilliant business by City so far in 2022, starting with Alvarez. Sure, is a lot better than 18 years ago when we were signing the likes of Andy Cole, Ben Thatcher, Danny Mills, and Kiki Masampa. Pass to the Dutchie on the left-hand side. Kiki Masampa. Kiki Masampa was all right in that little spell, to be fair. DeMarcus Beasley and all that lot. Danny Mills, absolute shite. Thatcher, only good for an elbow. Andy Cole had a decent little partnership with... was it Vassell that he partnered with? It was Vassell, wasn't it? He had a decent little... partnership with Vassell for a bit. He was okay, Andrew Cole. It's going to be interesting. What do the Arsenal fans think, by the way? Is there any Arsenal fans watching this? How are you feeling about it? Because, of course, as a City fan, I've just talked him up for a while. Look, I will say for Arsenal, do not expect, insane clinicism. But you do expect a guy who will absolutely show the rest of the team how to work. And he's sort of like Tevez without the goals, really. But still score goals, don't get me wrong. But maybe he'll score more when he's the number one. Joshua's an Arsenal fan, so he's excited. Catatia is clear. Oh, come on, mate. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Fowler and Cole. You're right. It was Fowler. Was it Fowler and Cole? Was it Vassell? I can't remember. Yeah, mate, you've got Haaland, though. The fact that you'll miss him is a good sign for us, Arsenal fan here. Yeah, no, we absolutely do, man. I don't think he's going to score your 30 odd goals, but I think he'll score your 20 in the Premier League if you play him every single game. I think you will do. I think you'll do better than you realise. John reckons consistent play time will do Gabby wonders. I actually sort of agree as well, actually. I do think you've got yourself a player that will probably... He needs to feel the love. Do not let the toxicity filter through to him. Yeah, as Alfred has said, the thing is what Gabby lacks is finishing, but he makes up for it in everything else. Love the guy and we'll miss him. Yeah, I agree. He's not always the best in front of goal, though he can score some great goals, by the way. He has done. Look at his performance against Watford recently, or look at him away at Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Excellent. Look at his last-minute goal to win his 100 points Premier League title season. I knew it was Vassell and Cole. I thought it was going crazy, man. I'm tired today. So basically, clinicism isn't a word. I don't think it is. You're right. I don't think it is either. But either way, it's a football word. But yeah, I know Arsenal are symbolic with toxicity these days because of fan channels and all that kind of stuff. You hope he doesn't come to that for Jesus because he's a guy who needs to feel the love. And he will get it from Arteta and he will start every single week. That's the one thing he's got going for him. And he will get chances and he will score goals. He'll miss the odd absolute sitter, but ultimately I think he's going to be a very, very good signing for them. It'll be fascinating to see how it goes. But, you know, I think he's got the ability. Any names that I've missed off here today to talk about? No, I've talked about Giarbi, Edozie, Jesus, Phillips, Cucarella. That's sort of all there is really to talk about. I think Egan Riley as well is going to... I'll quickly make a little Egan Riley one. I've not made a little Egan Riley circle, so to speak, but I'll quickly do it now. I think he's off to Burnley, isn't he, by the looks of it, on a full-time deal. Let me quickly Photoshop him in. That's an interesting one, Egan Riley. I think it's also probably the right call, but let me just quickly get him on the screen. Where's Egan Riley? I'm just doing the Photoshop right now. CJ is obviously a guy that a lot of players really like, a lot of City fans really like because, of course, great as he was in the Champions League in that little game and he's been so reliable. But it looks like he's very close to joining Burnley, Egan Riley. I'm sort of relaxed about this. I get it. I understand it. Like I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's quite Man City level. I think he's really close as well, around about there. I'd be very surprised if he makes it at Man City, CJ Egan Riley. I like him a lot. But I think he's one of those, like, he's really mature, really sensible, really, like, reliable and that kind of stuff. But I don't think he's quite got the slight, like, je ne sais quoi, a little bit of, you know, sort of magic to make him a Manchester City defender. I don't think he's a great passer, or I don't think he's a good passer, but I don't think he's overtly like a lead in the way Ruben Diaz is. Or I think he's got lots of like 7 out of 10 attributes, which is great, but nothing like a 9 out of 10 out of 10. Like Laporte is a excellent left-footed patter. You know, Stones is one of the best ball-carrying defenders in world football, and Ruben Diaz is one of the most physical defenders, and Kyle Walker is a freak and all that kind of stuff. And I think like Egan Riley is just so reliable, but I can't really see him breaking into Manchester City's side for that reason, personally. That's not a criticism of him. I just think like you have to have something a little bit special to get into Manchester City's side as a defender. And I think going alongside Vinny and training there, he's going to have a really good career. Like, I mean, I like him a lot, Egan Riley. CJ's quality. And I wish him all the best. I'm not being critical there, but I think he probably understands his chances well with the fact that he's leaving. Like, I think it's going to be really hard for him to break through, so I understand that decision and respect it at the same time. But yeah, that's it for this video. A quick little evening video before I go and make some tea and chat to the wife. Thank you very much for joining. Do let me know down in the comments what you make of all these potential transfers. Jesus, I said there Fabrizio, here we go, so he looks like he's going, unfortunately. It looks like Kalvin Phillips and Cucarella are both very close, with the likes of Darko Giarbi, Edozie, and CJ Egan Riley on their way from the club as well. Thank you very much for watching. Do hit the like button, do hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you tomorrow for another video. In a bit.